Oh, do you have a band-aid? Because I scraped my knee when I fell for you. Get it? Because pickup lines, they're pretty annoying.
Hiya folks, Fruit and Hoggy here to do another Aggravations and Annoyances vlog. I haven't been recording these for a little while, but what comes to mind today, what really aggravated me today, is basically products that shortchange you, kind of in the long and short of it. Whether they shrink down their packaging, keep the price the same, kind of add insult to injury, shrink down the packaging, limit how much you get, and increase the price so you're paying more for less, really give you a backhand. Or those are basically the main ways that they tend to do this, is simply giving you less and charging the same price or more. And I understand that, since I was a kid growing up, the economy has changed, inflation has changed, the prices of things have increased. Excuse me. Perhaps even with some health and dietary guidelines, maybe some companies would feel that it's a good idea to change their packaging to represent more realistic portions. I would think that would only apply in certain circumstances, though, because many of those theoretical companies also create what they call a family size or a king size, a much larger package. So that wouldn't be consistent and follow along with that. But overall, I get it, over time, with the way the economy changes, prices change, the same items, the same goods and products I would have bought as a kid, I would have seen my family get as a kid, they're not going to be the same prices for me as an adult. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. It's somewhat annoying, but, I understand it. Like when I go out to eat at a restaurant, the bill is higher than what I remember, just 10, 15, 20 years ago, but that's life, that's how it goes. And I've gotten used to that, but when you go out to eat at a restaurant, I know that menus have changed pretty drastically, but I can't think of too many restaurants that have significantly changed their portion sizes. Now, McDonald's, for instance, did work out. They don't do is it the king size? Super size. They don't supersize me anymore, for instance. They still have a medium and a large upgrade, but they don't do a super size. So I suppose in that sense that took place. But if I remember right, they were at the other end of a lawsuit, and that was one of those situations where, due to health reasons, the general public interest or perspective, they changed their ways. It's not like you still can't. Again, you can still get a large thing of fries. You get a large soft drink, it's pretty darn large. And throughout the many decades of restaurant service, portion sizes have actually increased pretty significantly. So I guess maybe that's something else that kind of annoys me, is the contrast there. I go to a restaurant, sure, maybe the prices increase over time, but in theory, at least from eras in the past, the portions are larger than they used to be. And when it comes to restaurants, I have plenty of choices. But it seems that food manufacturers, those companies, it's like they have sort of a universal guideline. And here's kind of what I mean. Whenever I go to the store, if I have an inkling for some chips, if I see a sale is going on and I just kind of look through the chip aisle, I almost never actually make a purchase unless it's basically like $1 a bag sale. It has to be a really good sale for me to get any. Because whenever I pick up a bag of chips, I always kind of lightly feel it. And every single time I check, no matter what brand, it's like they are already half empty before I've even, opened the bag, before I've even purchased it. or done anything to it, it is half empty. And I don't understand that at all. I just don't get why they are basically all on the same page of doing this. Excuse me. I mean, it'd be one thing if a couple of companies, if a couple of chip producers were shortchanging me, and it's like, well, okay, I won't buy those chips. I won't buy from that company no matter what their price is because I'm getting a half-empty bag. But that's just across the board. All bags of chips, they make them artificially tall, make them seem like they're going to be, oh man, it's so full and so voluminous, but it's all a facade. It's all a lie. A facade. Probably pronounced that wrong the first time. And I remember thinking this when I was younger, because I was annoyed by the whole chips issue then, is, well, you know, if ice cream companies did the same thing, if you were to open up a carton of ice cream and it was half empty, or any other product, of course, you'd look at it and be like, are you kidding me? I'm not buying this. You know, you'd be outraged. You wouldn't stand for it. And I mean, that'd be true for milk, beverages, basically any beverage. Every beverage I've ever purchased has always been completely full. No other goods do this. But anyways, back to the ice cream point. I only found out about this later, that some ice creams, they have air beaten into them. And basically, air creates a significant portion of the product, and air isn't an ingredient, so they don't have to list air as one of the ingredients on the list. And so when you're looking at the ingredients, it doesn't say anything about the beaten in air. As you open it, it's completely full, but as you're actually eating your ice cream, all of that air is beaten in, so you're getting less ice cream overall. And that's just so aggravating to me. I don't understand companies that are so profit driven that they're willing to screw over customers like this. Now, I can appreciate, again, increasing prices. I can understand staying competitive. But usually you do that through innovation, good commercials and ad campaigns, by appealing to your target audience. And so, for instance, with cereals, you go down a cereal aisle, it's almost literally an aisle. There's so many boxes of cereal, and many of them are targeted towards kids. And how do they appeal to the kids? Colorful boxes, colorful, iconic characters, commercials, toys, puzzles on the back of the box, little board games. There's a litany of different things that they do to pull in their target audience, to appeal to their customer base. And speaking of innovation, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember when they first started doing cereal in bags without any boxes at all. That's a way to reduce some of the cost on their end, excuse me, and sell you a cheaper product, or sell it to you for a reduced cost compared to other brands, and they look like, a hero by comparison. It's like, here you go, same sort of cereal, but without the box, so you don't have to mess around with that. And they have their own kind of like a Ziploc resealable portion, so you don't have to worry about using like a clothespin or your cereal going bad early. So, again, I would not be surprised if cereal companies have somehow tried to throw people off or done different things. But I've never gotten a box of cereal that I can think of that was, like shockingly empty or shockingly low. Now, to be fair, I almost always just buy the bags. But even those few times I do get the box, yes, the bag of cereal inside is smaller, but it's full. It's a solid bag of cereal. It's not as if I go in to reach for the box and really digging in, and I'm like, wait, this is only about half of the box. This whole top portion here is completely empty. So I don't know. I just get really frustrated and annoyed when a company can't shoot straight with you. When a company can't package their product in a way that's straightforward and clear. This is what you're getting. This is how much you're gonna get. This is how much you're paying for. And just be straightforward and simple about it. Let me have a clear semblance of how much I'm purchasing from you. Because if I like your product, I'm already going to buy it. They already sell very well. And I would think, especially with how much of a push there is for cutting down on waste and redundancy, that they would not want to put out products that have too much packaging, that's unnecessary packaging, the way chip companies do. And I know ice cream kind of operates on the opposite, but those are the two that I can think of and I know of as far as the food industry specifically that is really egregiously misleading customers. I try to think of anything else, but most all other products I can think of, except maybe a few exceptions that'd be more pertinent to a brand issue, would even be on the same scale as this, would be doing the same thing. I've seen pictures online of misleading packaging, but it's never like a consistent product line. It's never a chain of products. It's always a single bad actor that's really doing something scumbaggy, and much worse usually than just a half-empty bag of chips. But I'm curious to know if there's any products otherwise that I completely missed out on and that I'm not thinking of or aware of that is kind of operating on the same premise. And I'm just kind of thinking by grocery stores just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, but your condiments, your peanut butter jelly, condiments, basic items of that nature, sauces, syrups, canned goods, frozen goods, no. Again, aside from the ice cream, almost everything I can think of is always full. Bread, that's very simplistic and straightforward. Again, going back to canned foods, just thinking more specifically like canned fruits, vegetables, meats. No, they're all, very straightforward and obvious. Beverages, always. I've never seen a beverage that's been noticeably empty. You get a little bit of variance, but nothing like, what the heck? I've never seen that. I can't think of anything. So again, feel free to mention anything that you've encountered yourself, something that seemed really chintzy and, again, not really mean-spirited, but just scumbaggy. But, yeah, that just annoys the heck out of me. But anyways, I'm just going to start repeating myself at this rate, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, but appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you later, folks, and as always, Fruit and Doggy!